You can see the paper is already making some shadows for me, and I'm going to use that for my guide. Test the spray here. I found that a red Scotch-Brite actually makes kind of a cool stone effect. You got to pull it apart so that your airbrush can actually push the paint through it, but kind of scatter around, spray some light paint on there, and at the end of it you end up kind of with a bit of a granite look. It's kind of cool. Just sort of keep it random, spray different areas, spray different places in the red Scotch-Brite. Now I'm going to bring the same color in. I'm going to go over the top of what I just made with the Scotch-Brite. This is going to push back and darken the sort of weird granite effect that I made with the Scotch-Brite, while giving me a nice stony look to the overall piece. I don't want it to be too plain and too simple, so I'm not keeping it very smooth in the transitions. I'm keeping it really random. I've changed colors. I've made a sort of black and purple color, added a little bit of brown. I've reduced this quite a bit, but I've kept it so that it's dark enough that building up the layers will give me a nice dark look. I'm coming in and I'm going to use, I'm doing kind of a blowout line. Just kind of randomly putting that in there to give it an almost marble look. I'm not going to go in with too much white here to finish out that marble look. I'm just going to make it look more like a dark quartz or dark granite. Time to see how it looks so far. Tape line to make sure that I put this back exactly where it was beforehand. But you got to kind of take a look because you can't see, really how dark it is. I've got my dark color still in the airbrush. I'm going to come in and I'm going to start doing my drop shadows. I'm using the paper as a guide to give me an idea of how dark I'm going. I try to make it a little bit darker than I think I'm actually doing it. If that makes any sense. You can see at the end there I'm kind of pulling the stroke out away from that tip there. I'm giving it some space. I don't want it to be too dark at the end there because it won't look fake. It'll look fake. It won't look real. I keep it dark the closer it gets to that far right hand corner, but then near the tip on the left hand side I fade it out. I like to go over these more than once. Paint is really reduced. Gives me the ability to sort of make it exactly how I want it rather than make it the darkest possible color and not be able to go back. Time for the big reveal. Gotta check out how everything looks. I'm pretty happy with it, so I don't think I'm gonna go back in with the stencil I've made. I think I'm pretty much done with the stencil. Now the plain white is really boring, and it really doesn't do much for the piece, so I like to go in, I'm softening up the lines just a little bit by going over the areas that I drop shadowed, and at the same time I'm giving it a nice random spray of color. Nothing too dark, I don't want it to be overpowering or anything, but I do want it to kind of give it a shadowed look. I want it to be dirty looking. Nothing's really bright white. It's usually there's something going on, there's some sort of a shadow, some sort of a color. I'm going to come in and find those little dips in the lines that I made and give it sort of a rippled metal effect. This will make it look like it's sort of curled out over the top of it, almost like somebody pulled up on it to tear it. close-up of the rippled metal look and the drop shadows.